Hello, I'm Chip Pickering. I'm the CEO of Encompass. Good morning. Thank you for joining us as we kick off the 2021 Encompass Policy Summit. Encompass is the Internet and Competitive Networks Association. We represent the nation's fiber and competitive broadband builders, streaming leaders, and Internet innovators. The Policy Summit is where we set the agenda for our industry and bring together bipartisan policymakers who work and shape and lead our nation's broadband and innovation future. And this year is special because this year we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the 1996 Act, a law that was visionary, bipartisan, and market opening. The 1996 Act launched one of the greatest periods of job creation, investment, and innovation ever experienced in our nation's history. The Act created the competition constitution for our networks, connected our nation, and gave rise to the Internet as we know it today. The single greatest engine for innovation and economic growth the world has ever seen. I'm proud to have worked on the 1996 Act as a staffer, defended it as a member of Congress, and now have the opportunity to shape a better future built on the Act's principles with each and every one of our member companies, who include network builders, communication service providers, and tech companies. I am joined this morning by Kurt Van Wagenen, President and CEO of FirstLight Fiber and Chair of the Encompass Board. It's a fitting place to start because FirstLight Fiber is one of the best examples of what the 1996 Act created, a company that did not exist prior to the Act, that now has over 20 years of success in building and operating a fiber optic network. Kurt, we thank you for your leadership in the industry and your leadership for Encompass. You're an industry veteran and have been part of what has evolved over the last 25 years. Could you share with us your perspective of where we are today, and most importantly, your view of where the industry is going?
Well, thanks, Chip. It's great to be here with you to kick off our 5th annual Policy Summit. You and the Encompass team have done a terrific job of putting together a robust agenda with great speakers and timely, relevant content. Before I get to your broader question, let me just take a moment to recognize the entire Encompass Board of Directors. It's really been a pleasure to work with them during my tenure on the board. Our board and membership really reflect how the industry has evolved over the past 25 years and how we have evolved as an association from primarily competitive long distance and access providers to what today is a very diverse mix of internet and communication services providers, broadband and network infrastructure providers, as well as platform and social media companies. The competitive sector born out of the 96 Act has driven innovation and investment over the last 25 years, and we believe will continue to drive economic growth and job creation for the next 25 years if the pro-competitive goals of the Act continue to be embraced by policymakers. This year, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Encompass, and while the association has evolved and diversified to reflect the makeup of the industry, it has never lost sight of its core principle related to ensuring an open and competitive communications marketplace. This past year, as we faced the challenges of the pandemic while supporting the broadband needs of our country, the benefits realized by the work and market opening policies that Encompass has driven over 4 decades could not have been more evident. Our Policy Summit agenda this week also reflects the diversity of business models and issues we care about as companies and as an association, such as broadband deployment, 5G, robocalls, and Section 230. As we are kicking off this new year with a new administration, I look forward to hearing from the FCC commissioners and members of Congress who have joined us for this summit. And notably, our membership is growing, and in fact, grew by 30% in the past few years, which is a validation of the meaningful work the Encompass team is doing. I encourage companies who are attending the Policy Summit that are not members of Encompass to join and support the very important work that is being done by the association. As we continue to address the challenges and needs resulting from the pandemic, it will take all of us to connect our citizens with what they need while supporting the growth of our economy as the country recovers from the impact of COVID-19. I'll send it back to you, Chip.
Kurt, thank you. And FirstLight Fiber really does represent the kind of company and business model that would not exist without the market opening provisions of the 1996 Act. Can you talk with us a little bit about your company, its founding, its growth, how it's responded in the midst of the pandemic, and how it can help the country and your customers recover as we come out of the pandemic? And then what do you need for your future success and for the companies very similar to you building the networks of the future? What do they need, and you and FirstLight Fiber need for your success in your future?
Sure, Chip. Let me start by saying that FirstLight was originally formed as Tech Valley Communications in Albany, New York, shortly after the passage of the 96 Act, and was one of the early competitive fiber builders. Over the past 20 years, FirstLight and its predecessor have operated successfully through the highs and lows of the industry by providing competitive fiber-based services to a broad array of business customers. Over the past 2 years, under the ownership of Anton Infrastructure Partners, FirstLight has grown through both organic growth and acquisitions. Specifically, we built over 6,000 route miles of fiber, announced 7 acquisitions, and rolled out 14 new products. We now have a fiber network consisting of nearly 25,000 route miles of fiber across 6 states in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, and we serve over 15,000 business customers. With respect to our response to the pandemic, the FirstLight team has responded well overall. We face the same challenges as many other businesses with respect to adjusting our business model to a more virtual environment while ensuring we continue to meet our obligations to customers related to providing essential services. We signed the FCC's Pledge to Keep America Connected, worked closely with customers early on to quickly upgrade services to support their work at home and learn at home requirements, adjusted installation schedules to accommodate limitations to office accessibility, and we provided financial support to many customers so they did not have to disconnect services during this difficult period of time. We will continue to be active in providing support to our customers going forward as they navigate the ongoing challenges of the pandemic. With respect to FirstLight policy priorities, our top priorities focus on addressing fiber deployment challenges such as permitting, right-of-way, and make-ready issues. As you can imagine, the process of building fiber networks is highly complex, it's costly, and it's time-consuming. The current regulatory framework for these critical deployment activities, for the most part, remains a somewhat outdated patchwork of processes and fee structures by jurisdiction and provider that make it very difficult to deploy fiber in an efficient and cost-effective manner. The pandemic has created broad awareness around the need for more fiber and broadband solutions to bridge the digital divide. It has also brought increased visibility to just how critical it is in most aspects of life to have reliable, affordable broadband access. The response to these realizations, including new infrastructure funding initiatives, is encouraging. However, awareness and funding, while necessary, are not sufficient. Our view at FirstLight is that policymakers and industry leaders need to work more closely together to address the deployment challenges that are critical to achieving success in bridging the digital divide in our country. We will do our part to help make this happen. Thanks, Chip, for the great work that you and the Encompass team are doing, and I appreciate the opportunity to join you today.
Well, Kurt, thank you. And I couldn't be more proud of FirstLight Fiber and all of our member companies. Our association and our member companies were the first to take the Keep America Connected pledge. And they really stood up and they kept businesses small to large and schools and hospitals connected families and students. And so I could not be more proud, more grateful to get to represent the companies that are part of Encompass, and to be part of something that really made a difference during COVID and during this pandemic. As we look forward to the rest of today's leaders who will be coming and talking with us, we have a great lineup. We have Senator Ed Markey, who really one of the bipartisan leaders of the 1996 Telecommunications Act. And he will share with us not only the success and the principles of the 96 Act, but more importantly, how do you build from that foundation? How do we build a better future and the networks of the future and the policies that will create the trust, the security, and the path forward for our companies and for our economy. Then we have Mignon Clyburn, former FCC commissioner, Larry Irving, former head of the NTIA, talking about how do we close the homework gap. And then we close today with Darren Akerd, who's head of public policy of Amazon, or the communications policy team at Amazon, and Project Kuiper, as he talks about the very exciting thing that Amazon is doing to bring broadband through their satellite and terrestrial network. So we have a great lineup today. Again, thank you, Kurt. Thank you for all that you've done. I want to recognize all of our sponsors that are making the Policy Summit possible. And I look forward to the next few days where we can have great conversations, learn together, work together, and then build a better future and better networks that will serve all of our customers in our country in a way that has made us proud in the past and will make us proud as we go forward into the future. So thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Chip.